Hello po, magandang araw po sa inyo. Welcome po sa bagong episode ng KaiZEN, the Kai Magsanoc podcast. Ako po ang inyong host, si Kai Magsanoc. And today, ang pag-uusapan natin ay para sa mga nanay, mga babae po no, na mga anak, nagdadalang tao, o sa mag-asawa na nagpaplano ng kanilang budget no, sa panganganak at syempre kung ano yung mga kailangan i-prioritize after. Umbilical cord banking is not something that I encountered when I was pregnant 21 years ago. Parang when I gave birth 21 years ago, ang bago noon ay newborn screening. Yan. So ngayon, 21 years later, ako po bilang health care media or podcaster ay na-encounter ko naman ang umbilical cord banking at ang connection nito sa stem cell, no? Pag na-encounter natin yung word na stem cell, I'm sure nakakita na po kayo ng mga advertisement tungkol sa beauty, ganyan, pampabata, fountain of youth daw ang stem cell. Pero there is more that the stem cell can do, not just for us, but also for our baby, and also for different generations in the family. So now I will introduce our guest for this episode. She is an OB-GYN and she is a fellow of the Philippine Obstetric and Gynecological Society and also a fellow of the Philippine Society of Ultrasound in Obstetrics and Gynecology. Please welcome my guest for today, Dr. Margaret Ann Ponciano. Hello po, Doc.
Hi, Kai.
Hi, Doc. Thank you so much for agreeing to do this episode with us. So to my first question, Doc Maan, ha? So I'll go straight for the jugular. Hindi na tayo magpapaligoy-ligoy kasi nag-introduce naman ako about umbilical cord banking. Siyempre, what we want is to explain this both yung medical tsaka yung layman. No? So, ano po yung umbilical cord banking, Doc Maan? At saka ito po ba yung tinatawag na pusod?
Yung pusod is actually the stump. Parang yung natitira from the puso. 'Di ba? The cord is yung parang the connection of the baby to the mother. So yung pusod yung natitira pag inalis na yung umbilical cord. So it's not exactly the same pero it's related. It's parang a part of the umbilical cord. Now, yung tinatawag nating umbilical cord banking, siya yung uh, during birth or during the delivery of the baby, usually by cesarean section, kinukuha yung dugo from the umbilical cord for later on storage, no? For later on use. So basically, in a nutshell, that's what umbilical cord banking is.
Okay, Doc. Thank you for that. So syempre, oh my gosh, no, yung older generations, binibilang ko na, binibilang ko na yung sarili ko dito dahil sa po akong Gen X. So, nung panahon namin, nung kami ang sanggol, parang pag we were detached, di ba, from our umbilical cord as soon as we were born. Parang I
Right.
don't remember, even for my child, no, I never even saw the rest of it. Okay, parang and then we were left with the part that was still stuck to our navel. Ito yung ano no, ito yung pusod, yung stump nga
Right.
until it fell
The
off.
stump. Mhm.
Yes. But good for moms nowadays, parang this practice is changing. So there is science behind the value of the rest of the umbilical cord, no, the amniotic sac, and then yung placenta. So, how did this come about? Parang what is in these that makes them precious or priceless?
I think the basic denominator, no, yung commonality between yung mga minention mo is they're rich in stem cells. So yun talaga yung pinaka-reason why we do cord blood banking.
Mhm.
Because these, yung placenta, yung sac, yung umbilical cord, especially if you get the cord blood, it's rich in stem cells.
Mhm. Doktora, ito follow-up question, no? Rich sa stem cells, yung cord blood, ganyan. At my age, I'm in my 40s. Don't I have stem cells anymore? Kasi parang what makes the stem cells at birth, when I give birth, parang
It's
more precious than what I have now?
I can't say that it's more precious, pero it's ano kasi parang you get it without parang any difficulty, like kasi you get it from a baby who doesn't need it anymore, 'di ba? It's usually nga like you said before the technology of cord blood collection, it's usually discarded, 'di ba? They're parang it has no use. Pero right now, because of the technology, because of the developments and the research, parang we've come to realize na yung stem cell pala may value siya, especially in treatment of diseases, cell regeneration, yung pampa-beauty, hindi lang siya pampa-beauty for cancers, di ba? It's very promising actually. So, yun yung
Okay.
parang, oo. So, parang, yung adults, we have stem cells. Yun nga lang, parang usually yung stem cell natin, it's destined to become, kunyari, for the bone stem cell will go to become a bone cell, parang ganon. Yung maganda with yung cord blood, ano siya hematopoietic stem cell. So, parang, to make it more simple, yun yung parang immature cell na parang blood cell. So, pwede siyang mag-differentiate into parang later on, no? Kasi as I parang reviewed the other, we won't mention brands or companies who offer stem cell cord blood collection. Pero it's parang really used for blood cancers na talaga and certain other tumors. Mm-mm.
Okay. Thank you, Doc. So maybe later we'll go into that, no, yung
Yeah.
mga illnesses. So, Doc, as an OB-GYN, based on your observations or your interactions with your patients, no, yung mga nagdadalang tao, yung umbilical cord banking, is it something that is commonly inquired about? Di ba? Yung kasama ba siya sa mga basic questions ng isang buntis, no? Why or why not? What do you think are the usual fears or reservations that they have about it?
Actually, more than the fear and reservation, I think a lot of women or pregnant women are not aware that it exists. Parang we have siguro to do more podcasts like this, no? We have to parang spread the information that there is this technology available that can produce stem cells for future use. So, regarding if ever fears or reservations, siguro I think it's because of the price. It might be pricey if you plan not to donate it for other people's use, but to use it for your own family or for yourself or for your baby. So I think that's the parang main reservation about cord blood collection.
Okay, and that's a very valid concern, Doc. Kasi
Yeah,
syempre, di ba,
oo.
mga
Practical
ka,
yan. Oo. Kasi manganganak ka pa 'di ba? Separate pa 'yon.
correct, di ba? Parang ang daming expense actually, And I'm a solo parent. So we're not just speaking to, women who have partners, but if, for example, you are a pregnant woman and you are doing this on your own, we empathize with you. So tama naman si Doc Maan na yung gastos, yung presyo talaga is an impediment, no,
Yes.
sa
Yes.
pag-decide if you will go for umbilical cord banking. But you know what? There are now more affordable options. You can ask your OB-GYN about it. No, don't lose hope. It is pricey, but there are new companies that are democratizing, no, the option to go for umbilical cord banking. So, Doktora, mag-ano lang tayo, no? Parang let's zoom in on stem cells per se. Itong tanong ko na to, baka nasagot nyo na kanina, but if you don't mind, let's parang reiterate or parang repeat the definition, no, on stem cells. So, what are stem cells? Where do they come from, and how are they good for us?
So stem cells, it can come from like fetuses, no? Like from umbilical cord. Pwede rin siyang coming from adult. So, di ba we have, for adults naman, di ba parang we're more familiar with the bone marrow transplantation, di ba? Kasi the bone marrow contains a lot of stem cells. So, it's given for adults with cancers, bone cancers, leukemias, and such diseases. Tapos, stem cells, actually, immature cells siya na hindi pa siya nagde-differentiate, meaning hindi pa siya parang specifically is it a blood cell or a nerve or a bone. So meron yung tinatawag pluripotential, no? It can be all of those I've mentioned, depends on what the application will be. Kasi I don't want to get into the nitty-gritty na kasi I think it's very technical na. Pero definitely, stem cells are very promising kasi it's used for treatment and for cell regeneration.
Okay. So, yun. Kung meron po, kung gusto po niyo yung mas maintindihan yung value ng stem cells, when you see your doctor, please ask them about it. So, Doc, next question. So, usually, what we usually see when it comes to stem cells and when they are advertised or promoted, it's usually for aesthetic use. No, parang I
Yes.
remember when I was a full-time lifestyle journalist, I attended this event at aesthetic clinic actually, and designer Ino Soto was there, and then he showed us his arms. Parang it used to be injured, but because of stem cells, they were used to correct yung parang a childhood injury. He carried it from childhood until adulthood.
Oo.
Now we see that stem cells are useful in the treatment of more than 80 life-threatening diseases. So earlier you mentioned cancers, no? Certain blood
Yeah.
cancer.
Oo.
Uh, Please tell us more and help us understand this better.
Yung actually, um, for the stem cells, no, yung not just cancers na eh. Meron na studies are going underway na for diabetes, for autoimmune diseases like lupus, the sort, osteoarthritis. It's very promising. Um, Stroke, cerebral palsy. So, ang dami na talaga niyang applications, the stem cell. Not just lang siya pampa-beauty, pampabata. Actually, it's very effective, I think. Pero more than that, it's life-saving kasi. And it can be used for those purposes.
Okay, to add po dun sa mga diseases na na-mention ni Doc Ma, na makakatulong po ang stem cell sa treatment, there's also, na-mention yata ni Doktora yung stroke, no? Or Parkinson's,
Yeah.
Alzheimer, which is
Pero
a form of dementia.
I have to clarify ha, these are parang undergoing trials pa. So, if ever a person will undergo stem cell treatment, parang hindi pa rin siya 100% reassurance that you'll get better. Pero it's better than, 'di ba, saying that oh, you're terminally ill or you're stuck with your you're not able to move anymore. So this
Yeah,
gives us hope that we don't have to settle with these chronic diseases. Baka there's hope for the future. So more studies are
correct.
done about it, more research pa.
Mm. So,
Mm.
yeah, I love the word hope, Doktora, kasi, um, 'di ba, parang now after COVID, parang and people
Yeah.
are starting to return to their
Oo.
return or to move on and have the quality of life they had before the pandemic.
Mm.
And I think there is a crisis in hope right now because of what's happening around us. No, I don't want to get too political or no, but there's so many things happening around us. At least when you go for umbilical cord banking in the future, you have options, no,
Yeah.
medical options if ever.
Mm.
Tama ba?
Kasi you can store it for like decades if you opt to do
Yeah.
umbilical cord banking. So, 'di ba, malay mo after 10 years, they've unlocked na the use for lupus or the use for stroke or diabetes. So, it's
Mhm.
very exciting times ahead, for the future. Not just hope, pero kasi right now, definitely it's used for some cancers and blood cancers, blood conditions. Pero, because of the technology na hindi natin alam, sana not a decade, baka less pa. Marami na siyang maging applications.
Correct. Okay. So we've been mentioning the terms umbilical cord banking and then stem cells, Doctora. Just so you know, for those who just tuned in to our podcast, what is the umbilical cord and stem cell connection? What makes stem cells in the umbilical cord better or more potent? No, not better than stem cells when we are older.
I can't really say it's really better, pero it's so easy to collect kasi eh. Parang it's there for the taking. Well, if you have the resources, I mean, if you have the budget for that, why not go for it? Kasi, di ba, it's so easy if I can go through the process, no? So, usually kasi we do it after cesarean. Pwede rin after normal delivery. Pero during delivery kasi, di ba, the things we usually discard, the umbilical cord, the the placenta, you can just get the blood. Oh, ang dali, 'di ba? Kasi hindi na kailangan ni baby yung blood eh. 'Di ba? Kasi meron na siyang sariling blood supply separate from the mommy. So, actually, it's very if we like democratize it, or if we make it parang yung alam mo yun, madali na makuha yung mga resources for it. 'Di ba? Why not offer to all women? Not just the women with family history of cancers or leukemia. Kasi it's so easy to collect talaga eh.
Correct. At tama, no? Yun yung parang, I think, practical. Nandyan na siya eh.
Oo, it's there eh. 'Di ba? Instead of throwing it, it's like recycling it. Or better yet, making something out of it. Oo. In the
Correct.
future, for
Okay.
future use.
For future use. Oo,
Oo.
kasi nga parang dahil sa nagbabagong panahon, Doktora, parang
Oo.
hindi ko alam hindi naman sa gusto kong takutin yung sarili ko or yung mga nakikinig sa atin or nanonood.
Mm.
Pero parang may mga, ang dami ko nakikilala ngayon na nagkaka-cancer. They
Yes.
survive, pero parang mas madami kesa nung alam mo yon. I'm
Yes, mas
40
marami
so,
talaga.
di ba?
Oo.
Yeah.
Kaya very
So,
viable option talaga. Oo.
mm. So, Doktora, let's say I went for umbilical cord banking. Okay, so it's when I give birth, so it's my child's, no, yung umbilical cord niya, yung blood, the amniotic sac, and the placenta.
Yeah.
In the future, will it just be useful and helpful to my baby? Or can the parents also use it? Kunwari, ako or yung father nagkaroon ng life-threatening illness, no, na pwedeng paggamitan ng makatulong ang stem cell treatment, or even the grandparents, no, another generation pa, or even the younger siblings.
Yes, thanks for that question. That's a very practical question. Kasi if you're gonna pay a lot of money for cord blood collection, you want to maximize its use, 'di ba? So,
Mm.
hindi the good news about the cord blood collection, it's not just for the baby himself or herself. You can use it for your relatives or your
Mm.
parents. Kasi yung pag kunyari, in the future, no, wag naman sana. Kunyari, the baby you collected the blood from will have leukemia. Pwede niyang gamitin. Pero if not, if a relative will have like a blood cancer or something, autologous kasi yon if yung baby mismo yung gagamit. Pero if
Mm.
another person like the parent or some relative, tawag namin
Mm.
doon is allogeneic. So, pwede yon. It can still be used if match. Parang it's like a transplant of some sort, but using stem cells. Oo. If it's a match
Okay.
ha. Kasi
So,
'di ba pag transplant kailangan match muna, 'di ba? Before you
opo.
transplant something. So something to that it's like a similar thing din. Kailangan match din para magamit ng relative yung stem cell na collected.
Okay. Got it, Doktora. Understood. So, okay, dito na tayo, no? So, ako, sold na ako. Nag-sign up ako.
Oo.
kahit solo mama ako, nag-sign up ako kasi alam ko baka kailanganin ng anak ko, 'di ba, or ng kapatid niya or whoever other members of the family. Kailan kinokolekta? So earlier you mentioned during cesarean delivery and even pag normal delivery. So saang point po ng panganganak kinokolekta yon? And masakit po ba? Parang meron bang or does it put me and my baby at risk of or is there any risk no on the mother and the baby?
The good news is walang ka-risk at all. No pain, no risk. Kasi you're getting the blood that's supposedly discarded na, no? So, we just usually, the process is, like a nurse or the assist will insert a large bore needle to dun sa mismong umbilical cord to extract the blood. 'Di ba? Habang fresh na fresh
Okay.
pa, oo. So usually pag nasimot na 'yon or na-collect na niya yung collection, it depends kasi depends sa package. Meron cord blood alone kasi depends sa budget mo rin. Kung gusto mo,
Correct.
the whole package, so including the amniotic sac, the placenta, kasi yun pa nga, hindi ko pala nasabi, meron yung tinatawag na mesenchymal stem cell, yung nasabi ko lang kanina, yung pluripotential, yung mga hematopoietic, yung mesenchymal, yun yung meron for pampabeauty, for osteoarthritis, for rejuvenation, 'di ba? Yun yung ating isa sa mga priorities. So,
Correct.
ano siya, kaya siguro siya mas mahal kasi mas marami siyang applications. Yun. So, very safe ang collection. Walang pain. Kasi, ano naman it's something the baby extruded na. So, walang mararamdaman. Both mommy and the baby naman.
Doc, normal delivery ako. Tapos nung lumabas yung baby ko, nahinintay pa na may lumabas. Yun ba yun?
Yung placenta yon, yung parang
Ah,
inunan. They call it the inunan. Oo. Yun yun. Yun yun. Kaya may ample time to get the cord blood kasi hindi naman humihiwalay. Kasi once humiwalay yung placenta, wala na. Wala nang cord blood supply. So, minamadali talaga namin yung pag-extract ng blood para bago humiwalay yung placenta, na-collect na yung lahat ng cord blood. Kasi hindi naman siya parang, kumbaga, you want to get the most out of it, di ba? While collecting it.
correct.
Mm-mm.
So, if you know, parang prior to going into delivery, if you know that I signed up for cord blood or umbilical cord banking, parang nakaset up na rin yung team sa loob ng delivery room.
Yes, everybody's ready na yung needle, yung collection bottle, the vials or ano, the
Okay.
containers are all before pa lang mga anak, nandun na yun dapat. Usually naman prepared na yung team together with the
Okay.
delivery. Mm-mm.
Opo. So, Doc, syempre, ngayon dahil uso na rin ang cyber fraud at saka cybercrime and identity theft, di ba? Parang maingat din tayo sa mga DNA. Earlier, yung parang any trace of my DNA, right? Earlier, you mentioned that the cord blood can be stored for decades. But how long can we give a precise number of years? How long can they be stored? In the Philippines, can I also, kasi I know in Europe you're allowed to donate, no? In the
Yes.
Philippines, are you allowed to donate or even sell?
Um, the selling, I don't think we use the word sell. Kasi, with my institution, we call it parang transferring of parang financial obligation to the one who will use it. Like usually, di ba, I told you, the relatives can use it. Kunyari, somebody from your family has like a blood disease or blood cancer. So you can pass the baton of completing the storage fees to that relative. So technically, parang yun nga, yun na siguro yung selling. Tapos,
Mm.
with storage, length of storage, with my research, usually 20 to 30 years yung kaya ng
Wow.
technology, no? Before discarding or, I don't know, indefinitely, siguro, hindi na siya ganun ka-viable. Oo.
Mm.
Tapos, what was your other question? Sorry. With this,
Well,
donating. Yeah, you can
Ayan.
donate. Kasi in my institution, we have what we call directed or non-directed cord blood collection. So for
Oh,
non-directed, you can opt to have your, yun nga, yung cord blood collected, pero ilalagay siya sa blood bank ng ng hospital if your hospital is capable of storing the cord blood. So, that's free of charge. Parang you just have to pay for the parang lab tests. So, tama. It's parang, for me, it's a noble thing to do. Lalo na kung clear ka of illnesses, viruses, and everything. Pag na-clear ka kasi, you can donate it actually. So, meron na rin tayong institutions who can, yung has that, stem cell blood banking na. Yung cord blood
wow,
banking.
okay.
Meron na rin. Not just abroad. It's done here na rin.
Okay, that's something I learned for the first time in this conversation. Thank you, Doc. No? So, kung gusto niyo po niyong tumulong, you want to donate it, tingin niyo hindi niyo
Oo.
kailangan.
I think sa
Doktora, that's
government
so,
baka meron, PGH siguro kasi that's the biggest government hospital. Pero in some private institutions, they can yung parang yung tawag na namin non-directed cord blood collection. So it's not for you kasi nga hindi mo binayaran.
correct. Okay. So, thank you, Doc. Parang it's still, we're less than 30 minutes into the podcast and we already learned a lot. We hope that those who are tuned in have understood what umbilical cord banking is, what your stem cells can do, and then now we know that you can even donate, if you don't want to keep it or to bank it for yourself. We're down to our last question. Doc Maan, what is your message to parents who are expecting? They're either tuned in, they're listening to our audio, or they're watching on Spotify or YouTube, and they are considering umbilical cord banking.
Yeah, so for our listeners or for expectant moms or women who plan to get pregnant in the future, cord blood collection is a very um, promising field. So if you have the budget, go for it. Um, you can, if you have your OB-Gyn naman, you can ask questions from them about cord blood collection. If your hospital, the hospital where you will deliver in is capable, why not? Kasi later on, diba, you don't know, decades from now, maybe you can benefit from the stem cell, your baby or your relative. So, for me, okay pa rin, advisable pa rin to go through with the cord blood collection.
Thank you, Doc Man. Thank you for being part of our discussion, being our guest here at KaiZEN. I forgot to mention earlier na si Doc Man is a gentle birth and water birth practitioner. Okay, if you want to see Doc Maan, she has her clinics at the Medical City Clinics in SM Masinag every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Sa Eastwood every Wednesday and Saturday. And sa Cyber Park Cubao every Thursday. So please call those clinics and check po yung exact na schedule ni Doc Maan and to set your appointment. For teleconsultation, she is on the OB-Gyn page on Facebook and yung Serious MD, yung Now Serving, which I also use. So, Doc Maan, thank you again. Parang in behalf
Thank
of,
you.
syempre hindi ako, di ba? Yung mga nagdadalang tao na pinag-iisipan ng umbilical cord
Baka
banking.
ikaw rin nagko-consider ka?
Ano naman, Doc? 43 pa
Hindi.
lang naman ako. Hala, nag-reveal.
No, pwede pa.
Nag-reveal na totoo edad. Pwede pa daw, char.
Pwede pa.
Yan. Thank you, Doc. Ang dami kong natutunan. Ang point naman kasi is yung napag-usapan natin, maraming matulungan. No?
Yes.
Kasi baka marami silang misinformation and disinformation na nakikita. Mabuti nang nanggaling mismo sa atin dito sa podcast.
Okay. Thank you for
Okay.
having me.
Thank you also, Doc. So to everyone who's watching or tuned in, thank you. This has been Kai Magsanoc for KaiZEN, the Kai Magsanoc podcast. Thank you and be well.